Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. It's Marie with Swipe in the City.
You've got Michelle in the house, or condo, as my mom would call it tonight.
Is it a condo? Do I live in a condo now?
She calls all apartments condos. I don't
That
know.
makes me feel classy and adult. We would also like everybody to meet our new co-host, Brooke. Brooke, you want to introduce yourself really quick?
Yeah, hey y'all. My name's Brooke. I'm from Austin, Texas. People say that's a unicorn. I don't know about that, but yeah, I know where to go swimming. I guess perks. Anyway, yeah, I'm like. Been friends with Michelle and Marie for the last couple years, living in the same apartment, gotten to know
As we do.
The VIPs. And I'm finishing my master's in counseling in town, and I'm in my second semester as an intern therapist. So that's been super fun. Going into sex therapy, it's something I've always wanted to do, and yeah, super fun. I get to talk about sex all day, so who doesn't love that?
So we have a real expert now, guys.
Yeah, Marie and I can stop talking about our opinions as much. We'll still bring our opinions.
Yeah.
But we've got someone who can bring the actual,
The facts.
psychological elements to it.
Yes.
Help us dive in a little further. So super, super stoked on that. Outside of that, Brooke, I don't know, tell them what's a fun fact about yourself. Let the audience get to know you a bit.
I'm super fun size. I guess I don't know. I always say the weirdest shit when you have to do icebreakers, and they're like, "Give us a fun fact about you." I'm always like, I say the weirdest shit. I'm like, I contracted a skin virus when I was 7. That was fun. No, let's see. I love to work out. I'm starting to volunteer at the animal shelter in town. Totally gonna come home with a dog. I speak some Spanish. That's always been really fun for me. Is that fun enough? I don't know.
So fun.
That's fun enough.
I feel like every time that kind of a question or whatever, it gives me just icebreakers anxiety too.
Oh
I'm just wait, no, I'm the most boring person ever. And then I have the same fun fact every time, which is I love Harry Potter.
I do love Harry Potter.
And that's not a fun fact. That's just okay, cool. You're like every other nerd out there.
I do love Harry Potter. I also have it in my therapist bio that I'll never make you do an awkward icebreaker ever. As a disclaimer, because yeah.
Do other therapists do that? I don't think I've ever had a therapist do an
That seems like group therapy, right?
Maybe more in a group therapy context, but I also just I tend to I guess intellectualize things, so I hate when therapists tell me to do things visualize my feelings being put in a box or something. I'm just don't tell me to fucking do that, please. I'm gonna slap you across the face. So I try not to do stuff like that.
So you're a real human.
I try to be a real human. I try to talk to clients like their friends. Not I'm not gonna tell them about Saturday night or anything, but I try. I try to tell people you can curse, you can just be all that, and I try not to sound so stiff. I try to just talk like myself.
I love that. Not you're gonna write. You're gonna tell somebody to write Post-it notes and put them on their mirror.
R.I.P. Gary. Yeah, I have an update. So as if we don't have enough connection, Marie and I are now seeing the same therapist separately.
Is that a weird throuple? I don't know.
I feel at some point it's gonna put him into a weird position where he's gonna be I have information from this side and information from this side, but I actually can't communicate it.
Yeah.
Although I feel we have bigger issues than our occasional arguments to deal with Larry.
I was gonna say, yeah, I feel our actual we don't really argue enough to where it would be deep enough that he would need to feel he's in the middle of it.
Just hypothetically, though.
We've got so many other things going on,
You're not going to therapy because of your friends.
Because of
this bitch is so toxic. Let me tell you what she did.
We're running a podcast together, but like, God, I hate this bitch.
Yeah, worse.
Well, and that's why he like really even. That's how you even have ever came up. Is speaking of sex. I can no longer tell.
We had
to up online.
Burst the cherry at some point, I guess, right?
There we go. But yeah, no, like, because literally from the very beginning, it's like, oh yeah, I have this dating podcast or whatever, and so that's anytime we talk about Michelle, it's related to the podcast.
Yeah, here we are. But I mean, yeah, back in therapy, excited.
We love therapy.
We love it. Well, and like. Yeah, I feel like I was just recognizing over the past like month or so that some of the things where I can see that like my mental health isn't in the best place and some like regression. Mm-hmm. And so instead of just like, oh, this is a funk, this is a phase, and just kind of sitting in that, I was like, oh, this is the time to like take action and try to do something. So
we love this for you.
TBD on, all of that. But, yeah, we've had 2 sessions now. I'm feeling good. He's great.
Yeah.
He'll talk about himself sometimes, which I actually really appreciate.
I know.
Yeah, he's very conversational.
It humanizes it. And then you don't
really
feel like there's like this like weird, awkward power dynamic.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted, like, why I even referred you to him. Because I was like, oh, when you were talking about Gary and you were like, yeah, like, he just kind of like looks at me, and then I ask him about him, and he doesn't want to tell me about him. I was like, "Oh, Larry is perfect."
Not to like reverse therapize my therapist, but also I kind of am. I'm like, Larry was telling me something.
Wait, it's like, Larry and Gary. That is amazing.
Yeah,
you can't make that shit up. Okay.
Well, before Gary, I had Cameron. R.I.P.
Yeah, and that was Mike, the producer's also shared therapist. I feel like Larry is randomly gonna listen to one of our episodes, and it's gonna be this one, and he's gonna be like, "Why are you all talking shit?"
We're recommending him if you want his number. We'll send
all
his
good things. Yeah. If anybody's looking for a good therapist, we love Larry.
There you go, Team Larry.
He takes Venmo.
He does. Okay, this is not to talk shit real quick, though. So he doesn't know. Well, I'm going to show him how to add the Zoom link. I don't know if you've already tried this. To the calendar invite.
I thought it didn't have the capacity at the time.
I have to after, yeah. So that's like one thing that seems like he uses Zoom, which is amazing. He knows how to send it, but he doesn't know how to like attach it to his calendar invite.
Uh-huh.
But he knows how to send a Venmo request.
Yes.
We pay our co-pays via Venmo.
I mean, that's just so much easier. I feel like I'm very grandma. Like, I definitely use my my meeting room code just for like all of my appointments. And like, I don't send a calendar invite, so maybe that would be like a way to upgrade. I just like copy the invitation in an email and like, here you go. Don't have to look for it. I don't know.
Well, I was going to say that's, I think, his thing, because I was talking to him about it, like, I think our first session, and it was more so, like, it sounds like he doesn't want somebody, like, if he's got back-to-back sessions, for somebody to accidentally hop into somebody else's and have, like, the same meeting code. And I don't think he knows how to preemptively generate other meeting codes. So you have to make sure that it's like the scheduling.
I was going to show him
when you're coaching him.
I was going to coach him on how to literally like integrate Gmail with Zoom. And then
hey Larry, can you share your screen with me?
I set up so like I have to like that's not I have like I have to admit them, so I've never run into that issue, but that makes sense. Too. Yeah, that makes sense.
He just doesn't understand.
I mean, he can also just send it, but I have to remind him to send it. So
I know.
I'm like in the middle. I'm like, hey. But yeah, so back in therapy.
We love Larry.
Yeah, therapy's like dating. I mean, it's good that you're like, okay, I've seen him a couple times. I think we have chemistry.
Yeah.
That's actually how, when we did the episode with my stepdad, the first Ask a Therapist, that was, he literally made that comparison.
I mean, it really is. A lot of things are, though, right? Because if we just take out, like, dating and romanticizing, a lot of things are, it's like sales, right? Evaluation, understanding, learning, and then like matching. Does this meet what I'm looking for?
Yeah.
If it's like more of a partnership versus something like, do I bring the things to the table?
I will say, like, the one thing also that makes it like dating that people don't do in their dating lives enough is talk to your therapist about, like, if something feels weird or off or you're confused of why you're, like, doing something that you're doing or it seems like it's unrelated to you, to, like, actually directly, like, bring that up and be like, this, can I ask you, like, what we're doing? This feels strange to me, because so much shit can be squashed if you just, like, bring that up and have a conversation about it, or they can tailor their services to feel of higher quality to you based on, like, what you click with, but they only know, like, what you tell them. Same, like, when you're dating, and so if you bring that up, there, I feel like I had so many clients, like, tell me of, like, reasons why they left their last therapist. I'm like, oh, it seems like it could have been resolved with a simple conversation. Potentially. But I think also, like, on the other side of that, you don't have to go on 15 dates to see if, like, you enjoy spending time with someone or not, you know?
Well, you know, it's like we talked about with last week and with The Bachelor and Susie. She, like, kind of assumed that Clayton knew, like, if he was her person or whatever, that if they were meant to be, then he wouldn't have fucked the other girls or told them that he loved them. And he just didn't know. Like, you don't have the information you don't have, and then, I mean, I guess now they're together, so it's fine, but like, same thing, like, that caused this whole big blow up, and it didn't need to if that had just been communicated to begin with. Not to make it serious, I'm sorry.
No, I'm logged out of your Hulu. I haven't seen Bachelor. I logged out of your Hulu.
By the way, I downgraded my Hulu. I don't have Hulu Live anymore because we don't have any more Bachelor until July. We'll have The Bachelorette in July, but I'm like, well, I'm going to save $60 a month on Hulu. So I downgraded to just the regular Hulu plan with Disney Plus. So, sorry.
I've been logged out of it anyways since that time where it was like asking me to confirm the location, and I was like, this feels like it's gonna break something. I'm like, this feels like it's gonna break something. So I was like, I guess I can't watch Bachelorette anymore.
Oh,
okay. I mean,
what are you doing on Mondays and Tuesdays in July?
Well,
do tell.
Oh, well, most of July and August will be spent at Bachelorette parties,
weddings.
Ah, that'll be interesting to bring your notes and compare.
You're going to be July and August, and I'm going to be June, May. So we're going to not see each other because we're going to be gone on the weekends. Well, I only have one. You have like 16, but...
Well, I have Mexico in May. And I have something in June.
Nice knowing you.
Yeah, that's great.
So the podcast is gone. So what is that? I'm taking over. This is dinner. It's actually just Brooke. Yeah. She just talks to herself.
I'll do some therapist talks of the week or something. I could bring another therapist or something into her. We could talk about dating or something. I don't know.
Or you use like I don't know if you listen to any of Jared's, where he does like one, I think it's like his either Coffee with Jared or One Final Email podcast. Are you on the Jared Fried train?
Yes, I am, but I haven't listened to him outside of Bachelor.
Okay, we'll have to bring
we'll
bring you offline.
Wait. Yeah. Is it, okay, this is really bad because they're like totally different. Is Jared the one who does You Up, or?
Yes.
Okay, God.
Yeah, no, not Fat Carrie Bradshaw. Which is,
no,
by the way.
I know, but he's doing Read the Receipts, or I Have the Receipts, which I did listen to. He interviewed some of the contestants of Love is Blind, which that show was way better than I thought it would be.
I actually watched, the whole thing. Also,
I'm
did you say that Shake is like the worst person in the world?
Oh my goodness, what a great case study! Like, he would be a great person to write like a paper on in grad school.
Yeah, no, he will be.
It was like. So...
Did you ever watch it? Love is Blind.
No, I watched like the first season, a few episodes, and I got bored.
Yeah.
Also, all you need to know about Shake is that he also was randomly having this conversation at the bar at Frasier's with like, I think it was like Brian and like one of the bartenders and someone else. I was like, why am I talking about this?
This is fine.
all you need to know is that, so you know the concept of love is blind.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he, going on this show where the whole concept is not about physical appearance, was asking women if they could sit on if they would be able to sit on his shoulders at a concert.
Ew, that's creepy.
And like other things basically alluding to like, what do you look like? What is your size? What do you weigh?
Yeah, he was like,
so
and it all came around to like more of like weight related stuff.
Yeah, and it was like he tried to like thinly veil that like that's not what he was asking about. He would say something like, "If we were at a festival, would you think it would be fun to go on my shoulders?" And the girls were like, "Yeah, that sounds awesome." He goes, "But would I be able to lift you on my shoulders?" Or he goes,
depends, sir. How strong are you?
Yeah. Or he said stuff like,
throw it back.
I love to take the girls I date shopping, like, what size? He didn't say what size would I be buying you, but he said something like very similar.
Something weird.
Yeah.
That one, but yeah. And all I'm going to say, not that it's okay to make those statements if you are like extremely attractive, but he is the last person to be making those statements.
Oh, God.
So,
yeah, definitely not okay to say those things, even if you're like super conventional.
Not saying that, but like, yeah.
I when he got rejected at the altar, like, I felt like sad.
Also, spoiler alert, sorry.
There, weeks ago. Like, it was like, not like watching an injured puppy, but like I did feel like that was when I just felt just like it was so sad that I just really felt really bad for him because his immediate reaction was like, I'm so numb right now. He's like, it's fine, it's a celebration of love, we're here to party, it's okay, it's cool, I'm totally fine, by the way. And like was smiling and stuff, and I was just like, oh, honey,
you're not okay, sir.
This is, oh man, okay.
Woof. Anyways.
I know. So many things. I was like, we're going to have to get on the same train with reality shows, though. So I can at least all have.
Do you watch? I can't watch Real Housewives because there's too much yelling that it stresses me out.
I can't do those.
I don't think I have it.
No.
I haven't watched it. I can't. I really tried.
What else? Oh, Too Hot to Handle.
Is that the one with the AI?
The Alexa, basically?
Yeah. Alana, so different.
Don't say anything, Alexa.
Yeah. I keep accidentally, I know this is like probably overdone joke, but I keep calling my Alexa Siri. I mean, like, wrong name, I'm sorry.
Hey Google. I was yelling, hey Google, at Kyle's house the other day for a long time. Why are you not listening to me?
Yeah.
Why don't you work?
I have like a whole routine with my Alexa. Every morning, she turns my lights on at 6:30 without me saying anything.
Ooh.
And I set that thinking it would get me out of bed earlier, and it doesn't.
You just sleep with the lights on?
I just lay there and think about life for a half hour. So, but we're trying. We're trying.
It's all about baby steps.
Exactly. I'm like, maybe if I have to lay there for a half hour, maybe I just have her turn them on sooner. Maybe I have her turn them on at 6 instead of 6:30.
I feel like it would be the same thing, and you would just lay with pillows and like blankets over your head for longer.
It's probably true.
Can you tell her to turn the lights off? Because
sure.
That's what I would do.
I forced myself not to.
Just to clarify,
Alexa,
this solution would not work for me. It'd be like, the lights would come on. I'd be like, oh, bitch, turn them off. I'm not ready. I have a headache.
I'm also going to have to, like, adjust the settings because I created this whole routine where, like, she turns the lights on, then she gives me the weather report, and then she plays Taylor Swift.
You're very structured.
Well, when you're laying in bed and you're trying to, like, kind of at least half go back to sleep, you don't really want to hear 1989. Like, the album?
I'm going to be honest, I probably don't want to hear it ever, but I hope we can still be friends.
You're fired. I'm just kidding.
You're fired from your volunteer work here. I was going to say one thing I feel like we should cover, since this might be like the first episode people hear, if like, I don't know, if they're new, if they come to us, because they've heard Brooke, whatever.
They love Brooke.
Oh my God.
Maybe, since this is a dating podcast, should we cover relationship statuses?
Sure. Want to go first?
So I was seeing someone back. Well, kind of, very, very kind of seeing someone back with like December going into January, start of Feb. That didn't work out, and I wasn't really officially off the apps, but you know how you like stop checking and you have all the notifications off and shit. So I was off because like I'm very much typically only interested if I'm actually interested. I'm only interested in talking. I only have the mental bandwidth to talk to like one person.
Amen.
And so got back on, but like I started a new job, and again, y'all know this obviously, but like started a new job in January that's been amazing, but also like incredibly demanding from a time and like mental bandwidth capacity. Mental capacity.
Yeah, that works.
All the words, all the things. It's very hard. And then also, like I mentioned around a month ago, just started feeling myself regressing in certain areas, and I'm just getting back into therapy. And so I think I'm going to take like not an official break from the apps, but I just like, I don't know, I just don't really have the
bandwidth.
I get on. I know. I say bandwidth. Bandwidth is that's my new catchphrase.
It's a great word.
But every time I get on, it's usually like a Wednesday or Thursday night, and I'm chilling, and I'm like swiping. I'm just like, I don't feel excited to talk to anybody, and I don't feel excited to try to make plans with anybody, and that tells me, because I'm normally very fucking excited about anything social or any new people. So that tells me that like right now, I think I'm just gonna chill for a little bit, and I'm gonna work on my shit, and I'm not gonna do one of those things where I'm like, okay, I'm not dating for 30 days, 90 days, or this or that. And like if I meet someone, I do, and that's awesome. But I think just being like not intentionally going out and seeking it and being active and trying to force myself to go on dates, because it's like there's always a time and a place for that.
Well, and like I feel like you of all people are gonna meet somebody like in real life.
That's what I was
it's
thinking.
Like even Jared Fried is off the apps. Like I'm sorry, Jared is off the apps. You should be off the apps. Like, but like I mean, and when you want to get out there and you want to do the things, fine. But like I think that this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
and. I mean, again, you're an extreme extrovert.
Yeah, I feel like, if anyone, like you said, like you would be, you're so charismatic. It's so easy for you to meet people that like you could do it in like any environment. And get along and talk to anybody, and like.
And if you want somebody, you're gonna go get them.
Right.
Yeah, like literally nothing will stop you.
Yeah,
literally.
Not to say that like you have to be like something has to be wrong with you to have to use the apps. I don't mean that.
Right.
But I will say that I feel like when I talk to people generally, or this has also been my experience with apps, is I feel so depleted and so exhausted. It feels like a job interview, and I also feel like I go into this mode of like it's hard for me to show my personality because I'm like, oh, like. They don't know my vibe. I have to kind of like bring it to the table and like prove myself in a weird way. Where it's just like, and even if I don't, like, even if I'm meeting someone somewhere, like if I'm getting a drink at a bar and I look over to the person next to me and start like chatting it up, like it's so much easier for me to like be natural and show my personality there. Not just because of like alcohol or anything, but just to like it's in real life. It feels like
it really is
organic and like
different,
feeding off someone's energy or vibe and like seeing their body language and responses. It's so much easier. Whereas like there's very few people out there I think that put any energy into their dating profiles in terms of showing their interest, showing their personality, and like. It's so much easier to talk something up with someone if you know, like, at least what to ask them about. But then it comes to be, like, how many times have they been asked about that same prompt? And, like, how boring is it to have the same conversation over and over again? Whenever I've been on the apps, I delete it so fast. I've never had one single good date from an app, like, ever.
That makes me sad.
I feel like I've had
I've had some good dates.
I've had some good dates.
I've had some bad dates. But I've had some good dates.
Yeah, I feel like most of my good dates, though, have been situations where I'm like, this is like a homie. Like, this is...
when you friend zone them.
Where I, like, friend zone them.
No, I don't even get to that level. The first, I actually love this story, but I don't know if I've ever told it to you, but the first dating app date I ever went on, I cried. It was when I was, like, in my young 20s. I'm pretty sure the first half of college or something like that. And I just didn't have, like, the confidence or know how to, like, leave a date when you were not having a good time. And it was just like one thing after another that I feel like I still remember it to this day. Like, this guy's first strike was, he shows up, the first thing he says to me is not even, hey, how was your day? He goes, hey, I saw that you studied feminist and gender studies on your profile. What do you think is the need for feminism today? That's his opener.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh, wasn't prepared to, like, defend equal rights today.
I didn't put my equality shirt on.
Oh my
God. Patriarchy.
Yeah. Then he leaves. Finally, there's, like, a band outside at the bar where we're getting drinks, and I'm like, okay, good. We can just listen to the music and not talk for a while. And over the music, he's shouting. This was when Hillary Clinton was running for president.
Oh, no.
He goes, how do you feel about Hillary Clinton, considering that most of her notoriety as a politician comes from the fact of, like, her husband's, like, political success? And I was just like, excuse me? Like, are you trying to get something out of me? Like, he was a film TA at UT, so and he did tell me he wrote every night before bed, so I kind of started being like, are you getting, like, a character idea? Like, what's happening? Then I'm on this date for so long. My sister gives me a call, and she's like, hey, what's up? How are you? How'd your date go? Still on it. She was like, what? I was like, yes, like, please come. So she comes to my date.
Oh.
She gets a phone call immediately, and I excuse her. I'm like, oh yeah, it's probably her boyfriend or something. He goes, so tell me about your past relationships. I was like, no, it's cool. Like, it's a long story. I wouldn't want to bore you with that. And
Bro, are you good?
He goes, no, really, I'm an open book. You can tell me anything. And I was like, okay, but, like, I don't want to tell you about it. But he insisted. He goes, it's okay, you can really tell me. And so I tell him this story and about my ex, and he goes, wow, I can tell. I've had so many friends that, like, keep their exes on the back burner and kind of treat them like shit. And, like, I can tell y'all are probably going to get married, and you definitely still love him. I can tell you're still in love with him. Or, like, maybe you won't. And I was like, so it's one of the two options? Okay, great read. It's polar opposite ends.
Hey, you're either going to marry your ex or you're not.
Whoa. My God.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So
wow.
that's kind of how to
So profound.
You know, he walks, you know, he walks me in the car I'm getting into, and he just goes, so this was a date, right? And I was like, I guess so. I get in the car.
Torture.
Yeah, I get in the car.
Marking his notebook like, yo, you might on a date tonight.
She said yes.
And he confirmed.
It was so painful. It was probably like 4.5 hours or something.
Oh, baby girl.
It was terrible. And then I cried the entire way home in the car.
Oh.
And then I get a text. I think this was on like a Wednesday or Thursday evening or something. I don't know. And then he texts me at 9 a.m. the next day and said, I had so much fun last night. What are you doing on? And he invited me on a date like 2 days after. And I was just like, that was a success to you? Were we in the same date?
I feel like there's a whole... Go ahead.
No. Yeah, that's a lot to unpack. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like there's a whole episode to unpack from, like, post-date interactions.
Yeah.
And, like, follow-ups. I feel like that could actually be, maybe it's the first best practices episode we do as a group.
Love that. Love that.
But, yeah, what's your relationship status?
On that note,
since y'all can't see, Michelle's looking directly at me. Well, I mean, you guys met him last week. I have a boyfriend.
Ooh.
Well, I mentioned this 2 episodes ago now.
Oh, I didn't realize he was on the episode.
You're behind on the
Oh, yeah,
times.
he was on. Well, because we had to do the whole Bachelor crew.
He was so good. Also.
Yeah. I was proud of him.
We got so serious about it. It was great. I was like, wow, we took this assignment seriously. I love that.
I know. I was
so
listening
fun.
back to it, and I was like, "Holy shit! Like, we are very like, we made this serious."
We did.
But yeah, I have a boyfriend, and Michelle acquired him,
As she does.
as she does at Frasier's, and
Who would have thought that they like met someone who's like, I mean, no offense, but really quality,
no
like,
Frasier's, but we met somebody.
like,
I the fucking Frasier's. I'm a quality person. When you get to the layers of functional alcohol drinking, there's a quality person in here.
Oh my God.
But also, yes, one night Lindsay and I were walking in and we're like making a joke about whether or not we would like meet guys there, and we're like, oh, we're going to Frasier's. And we've done the same thing about going to Jackalope, and each of those times we've actually met someone that was like legit, where we're like, oh fuck, like we would actually talk to this person, or like just keep hang out with this group again.
So basically what you're saying is we should say that and then go there.
It's a complex, so it's the algorithm.
The
It's the algorithm, baby.
It's backwards manifesting. Like, I was just talking with my reps about this. Like, when you go into something and you think that it's going to go a certain way, it goes that way, right? If you think you're going to have a shitty day, you're going to have a shitty day because you're just in that mindset.
That's what you're looking for.
But you're backwards manifesting.
Yes. My new specialty. I'm changing my LinkedIn headline tomorrow.
You definitely find what you're looking for. Absolutely.
But I will just say, we adore the new boyfriend.
We do.
He's good people. He's also a homie.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying you have to be like friends with me if you date my friends.
Well, if you want to be my lover, you gotta get my friend.
You have to be chill. Like you have to tolerate me.
He's very easy to talk to, and he's very quippy, which is fun.
Yeah.
And just like very
he's
comfortable.
like smart and good to you. Like what are all these things?
I know, it's
like there's basic standards in place. What is this? He doesn't.
We stand. We don't. Let's not.
I'm adjusting. I'm adjusting to a non-toxic relationship, and
we love it. We love it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. But moving right along.
Yeah, Brooke.
Well.
Cool.
She smiles awkwardly and looks at both of us, sips her wine.
You
Well, I'm just gonna take another sip of this.
You can say undefined too, or you can say.
Ooh.
You can.
Yeah, I feel like whatever. We'll do this. Yeah, I've been in a very let's see. I've been in a long-term relationship for the last several years. The last year there were like a lot of on again, off again, just with some things that we were like working out in terms of I guess like kind of lifestyle and value choices, I'll just say. Recently we have been talking, and I think it's always something you have to proceed with caution when being in these scenarios. I think like a lot of the time, I think people do, and probably this is what happened a little bit, rushing into situations again without really thinking about like, is there a possibility for things to be different? But I will say I feel really good right now, and we're super happy, and I think that I kind of look around at like people who talk, the people that I hear like complaining about their relationships, I think about like we don't have any of those problems. And so we definitely have our own set of problems that are like, unique to our relationship. But I think when I hear about like average like relationship complaints, it's just something that like we never have to deal with that kind of stuff. And so I feel like the love and connection and warm vibes that we have just really super upgraded, and I feel really at peace. And I think like we're not, rushing into it. I think we're taking our time and like seeing things and just communicating a whole lot about it to stay on the same page. And like so far so good. So I think this is I'm learning a lot. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Aren't we always?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome, and I think obviously like we have some insights into some of those things, and hearing and knowing that you're in a place. And I think it's really funny that you mentioned the point of we have our own set of struggles that are different than these, because it reminds me a lot of like 1,000 years ago when my mom and stepdad got together. Like they went through some shit, and I was like a kid, and so I was like causing chaos for them. But like,
as we do,
one of the conversations that my stepdad had with me and that we kind of had went off was like, look, like adult relationships are much harder than they seem. They're not going to be this, they're not going to be that. And, if things are this much better than they're worse, or you're having these many more like positive moments than negative moments, like, and everyone's definition is different, but like that's a successful, potentially successful relationship.
Yes.
And I think it kind of ties to what you're saying, or kind of reminded me with what you're saying of like, we have this and we're figuring this out, but a lot of these other things that people are dealing with, struggling with, or in miserable or incompatible relationships, you're like, we don't have those necessarily, like those issues.
Yeah, and I think that like like you said, like there's always going to be something, but I think it's it's something that my parents always talk to me about is when you're picking a life partner, it's really important to go through a very big hardship together.
Yeah.
Because you see how that person responds, you see how you respond in times of crisis or conflict, and you see that you can work together as a team and come out on top. And if you can go through something really difficult before you make that decision if someone's going to become your life partner, and you can come out on the other side stronger for it, that is such a good sign, because there's always going to be something in life.
Yeah.
And I think, that's part, and somebody's always going to have something that is like their thing that kind of maybe annoys you or whatever is difficult, but is it kind of, do the other things like outweigh it in your mind? And like, can you find a way to think it's like cute or endearing, or can you, whatever it is.
Yeah, like you have to decide what are your deal breakers, like what are your deal makers, and what's truly important to you. Like, what's the match for me is not going to be the match for Michelle. I mean, it's not going to be the match for Brooke. Like, because we're all different people, and so everybody's got like different things that they're looking for.
Yeah. No. So I was just thinking of like when you were dating a previous partner, and they were like extremely like kind of like antisocial and things like that, and I was just like, why won't this person like hang out? And you and I had a conversation where you're like, like for me, like they don't need to be extroverted and outgoing and doing all of this. And I was like, oh, right. You're right. I'm just looking for these energies in people. Yeah. But
funny. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like looking back, like I think I would have liked that particular person to at least have given like a little bit, like every so often, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I like to kind of have my own things and some of my own things that I do, but at the same time, it's like being with Andrew and the fact that he is so integrated, like in our like friend group, is honestly a huge green light. Yeah, because obviously he's got y'all's seal of approval, which is wonderful. And it's just, it opens up the door for like more interesting, like learning different things about somebody, like seeing them in different kinds of settings. So yeah.
There is something of like, I saw recently of like when you have these expectations of someone to handle a situation in the way that you would handle a situation, like you will be disappointed.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so it's kind of like learning to detach from that, I think is something that's so hard, especially when like you love someone and want the best for them, but ultimately like you don't have control over it, but two, like, you know, like you said, like people are different and they're looking for different things, and their journey is their journey, and they need a different process than someone else will. So it's kind of like has to come from you.
Exactly. Like you definitely need somebody, Michelle, who's gonna like be your wing person.
I feel like I need a slightly muted.
Well, they don't need, like, you have to be the butterfly going to all these different new people.
I have to be the center of attention.
Yeah. No, like, you're the person that goes to the random strangers at Jackalope and makes friends with the woman who did my waxing. But, like, you need the person who's going to be right by your side and let you kind of, like, lead that experience.
But still be, like, comfortable and stoked to be there. Like I've learned like I definitely can't date extreme introverts or people who get really jealous or controlling.
Yeah, I feel like you need someone who can like also have fun anywhere and is very go with the flow and is like down to kind of like vibe, but also can like hold their own. So they're not gonna like be pushed into the shadows standing next to you. They're gonna be able to like, you know, get in their point of view in a conversation and hold their own. But also just be like down to let you go, be your social butterfly self, and like not be threatened by it, and have a good time like talking to whoever they're with, and being like she's doing her thing, it's fine. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we figured out your perfect man. Are we gonna manifest him?
We're manifesting.
We'll go to Frasier's and not find him.
We
won't go to Frasier's and find him.
So many words.
If you meet your person at Frasier's,
I think that would be perfect.
Can you have your wedding there? I think that would never stop laughing.
Let's have the reception at Frasier's.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we had
at your wedding?
Can you imagine my mother's reaction if we even tried to have a party at Frasier's as part of the wedding? I mean, it will happen. She won't. No offense, Mom, you won't be invited.
I think. What about the after party? Like after the reception, you go to Frasier's type thing.
You would. Oh, what if you could get them?
No, after the reception, I would want to go somewhere that's like upbeat. Yeah,
you're not, that difference. We'll see. Differences between you and I.
This future wedding not happening. So on that note,
where would the after party be? Just hypothetically.
For me?
Yeah. Where do you think it would be?
I don't know. I've not thought
somewhere upbeat. That's where. Yeah. Well,
TBD.
TBD.
I don't know. Anything else? I feel like we're like kicking off a new season. We haven't done seasons.
That way.
Should we start seasons? Because that would actually allow us to do breaks too. I mean,
we have such little bandwidth in our lives. I mean, we could explore it. Because we haven't said this, or really, I mean, we briefly talked about it. But we'll start releasing these episodes on Sundays instead of Wednesdays for anybody who is actually sitting by the phone waiting.
Edge of the
waiting on a Wednesday at 12 a.m. for the new episode to drop. We're going to be doing this on Sundays now because I think that's going to be better for our work bandwidth since we're
word of the day, bandwidth.
We're bad, busy bitches.
That's right.
Busy, bad, busy, bad bitches.
BBB.
Well, BBB is...
No, that's BBC.
Well, there's also BBW.
Well, there's also B acronyms.
All right, so chat as an underage minor. Cool. Yeah, let's wrap it.
Michelle, where can people find you?
Craig PDX on Instagram. My account is private now, but you can still send a request. Work.
I'm at most_babbling, like babbling Brooke. That was my rapper name in high school, actually, by the way. I used to freestyle back in the day.
Wow.
I cannot do it now.
That's not a fun fact.
That is
I did take it to the point where I could go for like about 3 minutes or so freestyling without stopping. I learned a lot on YouTube, but yeah, my friends and I used to do it in high school back in the days. I can't do it now. It would be so sad, but
well, we'll practice.
We'll
get
practice.
I love
I'll
that
be
for you.
future opposite.
I love this.
Yes.
I love this. And you can find me at Marie R. Carlson. You can find us at Swipe and the City across all platforms. Thank you so much for listening, and let us know what you think. Bye.
Bye.